What's happening, Saints fans? Welcome to our preseason preview on Saints Now by Chat Sports. I have a very special guest with me here today. It's none other than Jono Barnes, the craziest Saints fan I know. And if you are a diehard Saints fan, I'm going to be live on Saints Now by Chat Sports for this matchup. Preseason week 3, we go live every single game day, every single snap. Preseason, regular season, hopefully postseason. That would be sick. But this is your one-stop shop for Saints content by fans, for fans. Jono, I want to hear from you. What are you looking forward to in this matchup? Saints versus Broncos. Sean Payton back at the Dome.
First off, I want to give you and Chat Sports some flowers because I do my content when the Saints are playing, so I can't be as active on live streams. But I genuinely will say that I think Chat Sports has the best live stream viewing for all the fans that go live during games. And I go live during games sometimes, but like they have the stats on the screen, they have the scoreboard. Like it is incredible. I get mad jealous, right? Because I'm planning to do some live streams this year on my YouTube channel, and I'm like, I'm not going to be able to compete with what Chat Sports has as far as their production and their graphics, but it's fine. I'm just more of a, come hang out with a fan and as if you're in a bar. But you guys are doing some great things at Chat Sports, so definitely, y'all, make sure y'all check out their live streams during Saints game days. And you can come and visit my live streams during Saints game days when I go live, too. You ain't got to stay long. I know that Chat Sports has a better one than me, but if you just want to come and say hi, leave it this shit mode in the game, I would appreciate that. Trace, what's good about the fact that Kellen Moore still seems to be more undecided than a female who's asked what they want to go out to eat is that at least we have another quarterback battle on Saturday to look forward to. Like, okay, if this seems to be like the game that's going to decide who is going to be our starting quarterback in week 1, I'm excited, just like I was excited in week 1 and week 2 of preseason to see who plays better between Tyler Shough and Spencer Rattler. That's the main thing that I'm taking away from Saturday is, especially if, Sean Payton only plays his 2s and 3s on defense. And this is a great opportunity for either quarterback to take the bull by the horns and say, I am that guy. So I'm excited to see what Rattler or Shough does. Going by the tea leaves, it seems like Rattler is starting out with the ones every practice so far this week. So you would think that he's going to get the prime opportunity to play with the ones this Sunday, Saturday, whichever ones do play this Saturday. But I'm just excited to see what Rattler or Shough does. I kind of think, this is just me, it's kind of silly if Kellen Moore is basing his choice on Saturday's game because I feel like neither quarterback is going to do anything of substantial difference than they did the past 2 months of data that he has so far as a head coach. But from a fan perspective, at least it's entertaining because, hey, we'll see who has a better game and maybe that might sway Kellen Moore's decision. So the QB battle continues on Saturday. You got Sean Payton on the other sideline. How fun is that? I'm looking forward to Saturday.
Yeah, I'm just hoping that this Saturday is better than last time Sean Payton came to the Dome. We kind of just blocked that one out of our memory. It didn't actually happen. But Sean Payton, as we know, former Saints head coach, he did so many great things for this franchise. But, like, it is going to be interesting because Kellen Moore has gotten really good coaches to coach against throughout the preseason. John Harbaugh, Liam Cohen, and now Sean Payton. Like, I think that those are 3 really good coaches to provide a litmus test for your roster, considering you don't know how great the defense is because a lot of the starters haven't played. You don't know what to expect from the offense. There is still a lot to be seen in terms of stopping the run. You're seeing some young guys really, take on that role of being the guy. And I'm really, really eager to see how this defense specifically attacks Bo Nix because the pass rush, in my opinion, has been a big, big issue. It feels like it's the same theme as last year. You're getting a lot of pressure. You see the guys in the backfield, but then the quarterback just escapes just in time, able to make a play. Or they just tuck it and run. Like, that, in my opinion, has been one of the more frustrating things. I'm curious what you think. Do you think that the pass rush will finally start to kind of put it together? Do you think that it has been a good squad, a bad squad? What do you think defensively in terms of the pass? What are your thoughts there first?
Oh, man. I mean, I'm not worried because we all know Foskey is going to put it together finally this Saturday.
Oh, of course.
Right?
Of course. 11.5 sacks this Saturday. Call it.
Anyways, what's actually interesting is honestly, Saturday might be his but his Saints career is on the line. Like, I think Foskey needs a big game Saturday if he wants to make this roster. I do have concerns about the D-line. I actually have more concerns about the D-line than the O-line. Now, maybe Cam Jordan has that twilight year renaissance in his, what is it, his sixth? I mean, he's the oldest player in the league, huh? I saw that from you. You made me discover that.
Yeah.
But I think that our D-line depth isn't great. Fadeo Diggs, I like. I think he's showing some flashes with the defense, but I don't think that. I think we're probably going to be maybe a bottom 5 defensive line. And I hope I'm wrong. I hope Cam Jones doesn't hear this because I know that he kind of bothers me every now and then. So use that as motivation, Cam.
Yeah.
But I do think our pass rush leaves a lot to be desired. I still think that we are on the hunt, especially with Cam joining his career coming to an end soon, to find that next great pass rush for the New Orleans Saints. And until we find that, I do think that Brandon Staley is going to have to kind of get creative on how he wants to scheme defensive pressure on the quarterback, because I don't think that the talent on the defensive line will be enough on its own to get pressure on the D-line. So it'll be interesting to see. Now, I will say this, Trace, not to just keep being a negative Nancy. The stuff that I have seen from the defense the first 2 weeks, it has me intrigued, at least. I think that what Brandon Staley is building is definitely something that can be sustainable and something fun going forward. I just don't think that the general has enough of his soldiers yet to really put out his vision. But I think that it'll be a growing pains season for the defense, and we will see what Brandon Staley can cook up when it comes to our lack of pass rush, if you want to say it that way.
Absolutely. And for what it's worth, I want to get the gauge of the audience, because I want to add to that a little bit, but I want to get the gauge who you got. Saints, Broncos. It's preseason. I'm rooting for a tie.
Y'all really doing prediction for? Come on,
I'm rooting for a tie. I'm rooting for a tie.
Preseason.
We got one. I want another tie. I want another tie because chaos is fun. That being said, though, like when you said that the defense and the coaching staff, they have, an army, but they may not have all their soldiers. I love that. I think that that's actually a great way to kind of describe where we're at with this team. Feels like there's a lot of pieces. Feels like there's a lot of talent, but definitely it feels like there's a little bit more that needs to be done. I don't think this is all going to be said and done in terms of this roster being completely built out as Kellen Moore wants it. I don't think this is just going to be this season. I think next year will be a big growth year. And for what it's worth, last time Brandon Staley held a defensive coordinator position, again, Aaron Donald, Jalen Ramsey, they make life easier, but he had the number 1 defense in the league and won a Super Bowl. Yeah. People forget that. It's big difference between being a coordinator and a head coach. I think Brandon Staley's a lot like Dennis Allen. Dog shit head coach. Great coordinator, though. Make him just run the defense, and that is what you can expect from him. Jono, I want to talk storylines to watch here in just a second, but really quick, I got to say shout out to today's presenting sponsor, and it is Prize Picks. I am so excited to use Prize Picks all throughout this football season. You can get started by clicking the link in the comment section and description of this video. Be sure to download Prize Picks today. Use code CLNS. You'll get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. I want to tell you a little bit more. This episode of Saints Now by Chat Sports is brought to you by Prize Picks. Preseason football is underway, and college football is here, so don't miss out on any of the action this season on Prize Picks. Prize Picks is a fun and simple way to test your ball knowledge and turn it into cold, hard cash. It's daily fantasy sports made easy. It's the best DFS platform in the whole wide world. You just pick more or less on 2 to 6 players' stat projections. If you get your picks right, you could cash in and win up to 2,000 times your money. This season, I'm rolling with this Prize Picks right here. More on Chris Olave's receiving yards. More on Alvin Kamara receiving touchdowns, 2.5. That feels like free money. And Lamar Jackson, I'm taking the more on his passing yards. My opinion, life's too short to project the less, so I'm going to be hammering the mores across the board. And hey, if you want to take advantage of this max discount, Prize Picks is offering this awesome addition for Dak Prescott, half a passing yard. Yeah, that's going to happen. Even in his worst outing of football I've ever seen, week 2 versus the Saints, he threw for at least 1 passing yard. So add this into your Prize Picks lineup and go ahead and cash in today. Prize Picks is also the best way to get action on sports in more than 40 states, including California, Texas, Florida, and Georgia. Join millions of users and sign up today. Download the Prize Picks app and use code CLNS to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. That's code CLNS to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. Shout out to Prize Picks. Run your game. All that information is available in the comments and description of this video. Now, the storylines to watch, which QB will take over? That's the big one we've discussed. We spent 20-plus minutes talking about it the other day. who's going to take over? One of these guys is going to have to separate themselves and be the guy. Like, that's one thing that I'm definitely watching for. So what do you think that a quarterback needs to do or show to take that job? Like, what are you looking for from Rattler and Shough, if that's not too much of a question?
Yeah, no, it's not. I think it's an easy answer. Lead us to scores. Even if it's field goals, just get the offense to move down the field. Now, obviously, touchdowns are better than field goals, but lead us to scores. Again, I'm tired of hearing about, this guy looked great in practice, and then the game starting, now tired of Shough is throwing passes to Caesar Ruiz, or Spencer Rattler is flaming out in the red zone again. Lead us to scores. Find a way to score touchdowns, and then you make yourself the starting quarterback, because this is a close race.
Yep.
So I think that at a quarterback, and this is an easy answer, I guess, like it's a duh type answer, but lead us to scores. And if you can do that, you would probably be the favorite to be our week 1 starting quarterback in the Superdome against the Arizona Cardinals. So Don't make it complicated. You're both young quarterbacks. Go out there, play your game, let her rip. I mean, don't get, reckless with it, but let her rip.
Yeah.
And lead this team to scores. And then you can be that guy for us.
Yeah, and I think that there's something to say with being okay with making mistakes in the preseason. I'm not saying make a habit of it, but I am saying, like, if you throw a pick, you got to respond with a touchdown. And both of these players have thrown an interception, respond with a touchdown. So, one, can you limit mistakes? Can you limit those rookie moments or those young quarterback moments? And two, if you do have adversity, you do have some of those, do you bounce back? Because I think that you're going to see a lot of the New Orleans Saints in the regular season having to climb themselves out of holes or getting punched in the mouth and having to respond with a big play or a big drive. Like, I think that those are things that the New Orleans Saints definitely are going to have issues with. The pass rush we've talked a little bit about. The run defense, though. Oh, my God. Will that ever get fixed? I genuinely thought that was going to get fixed. Like, you draft 9 players. Most of those defensive guys, a big strength is that they're good against the run. And for some reason, it's just preseason, but you still feel like
early.
Oh my God!
Man, I remember. I'm old enough to remember just a few years ago when the Saints defense was on a streak of not allowing a 100-yard rusher, and now it seems like we give up 100 yards in the first quarter of the game. It's young. It's a young season. These players are still learning. We got some young players, right? So there's going to be growing pains. So I'm not expecting our run defense to look even good right away. I hope that what comes with a season like this for us Saints fans, which will likely be a rebuilding year. Now, if they wind up being good, again, great. But if this is a rebuilding year and we're a bad team, you just want to see the growth. I don't want to see the run defense in September be the same run defense in November if everybody's still healthy. I want to see progress from players. I want to see growth and development from players. That's my main takeaway, not only from the run defense, but from the team in general. So that's what I'm looking forward to. I'm not expecting it on Saturday.
Yep.
But if I see how they look on Saturday compared to how they look on Sunday in December, and they look the same, then I'll be a little upset. But if they look substantially better, even just maybe small bit of amounts of better, that's growth, and I'll take it because I am accepting that this is probably a rebuilding year for the New Orleans Saints.
No doubt. Well, and it's okay that we're in the midst of this rebuild. That's totally fine. Like, that's what a lot of us have been asking for, at least for a couple of years, where, maybe I can't sit here and say, like, yep, blow it all up, tear it down, let's rescratch, because that's no fun. I like to try to at least be competitive, but realistically, that's what we're in. You didn't make any trades during the draft, new head coach, young quarterbacks, no experience in the quarterback room. Like, you are in the midst of a rebuild. Avoiding injuries is a big, big key for this team as a whole. I mean, you're already getting beat up by the injury bug, but like, if these players on your screen right now, including the offensive line, if any of these dudes suffer an injury, my panic alarm starts to go off a little bit. I'm going to keep it real with you.
Kendre Miller's the big one. I need him to be healthy, man. Show me that you can be the next running back for us. Give Alvin Kamara some breaks, man. Kendre Miller, I call him the Zion Williamson on the Saints. Like, when he flashes, you're like, that's why we got him. Like, this guy can be a great player. But then he gets hurt. Like, he never can do 2 or 3 games in a row where he finishes the game healthy. So I've loved what I've seen from Kendre so far. I see the vision. Like, I see the talent. I'm like, this kid can definitely be a factor in the league, but you got to stay healthy. So when you say he's a player to watch, yeah, as far as me, I just wish that after every game for preseason, I'm like, is Kendre okay? Did he go to the injury tent at any point? Is he healthy? Because we really can rely on him, and he can be somebody that we can, as a fan base, put some hope and optimism in going forward in 2026 if he shows his potential in 2025.
Yeah, and with Clyde Edwards-Helaire too, I know I have it wide receiver on there. That's a typo on my end. But Clyde Edwards-Helaire, in my opinion, he's had a really, really strong summer. He's had like really good stuff at training camp and whatnot. He's been really flashing at in the preseason. Like last week specifically, I thought he was really good. And I was really impressed with especially how he did in his blocking. And I think that that's a really, really good way for him to find a spot on the roster. Devin Neal, we know, still dealing with that hamstring injury. Is he going to play? We don't know. But, like, he's another player I'm really excited about. So I'd love to see him get on the field. But you also, for a team that's already dealing with injuries, you don't want to risk any further injury. The offensive line specifically, can we just go ahead and wrap the entire offensive line in bubble wrap? Can we put Guardian caps across their entire bodies? Because we're hurt.
Calvin Banks, though, and Fuaga has looked real good, especially Calvin Banks. I know, and if you saw my reaction when we took him, offensive linemen are in sexy picks. I always say, I can't go buy offensive lineman's jersey when we draft one in the first round in the draft, but they're like eating vegetables, somebody said. You gotta have an offensive lineman built as your foundation of your team. So I'm excited about the future of the offensive line with Fuaga and with Calvin Banks. And when the This Shit More Than a Game Mount Rushmore recipient Eric McCoy gets back to the middle of that line, because I think he's a top 2 center in the league, and he ain't number 2. And I think he's going to provide dividends for Cesar Ruiz, for Banks, for Fuaga, and for whoever winds up being the spot that Penny left vacant. If Penny doesn't come back by week 1, it would be great if Penny came back, but I'm not expecting him back in week 1. I'm not as down on the offensive line as a lot of fans are, actually. I think the offensive line could be our foundation for just building out everything going forward. I think we got a good offensive line because Eric McCoy is still young, right?
Yeah.
And then you got two young bucks in Fuaga and Banks. Now we'll see what the future of Ruiz or Penny and guys like that holds. But we got 3 really good, and I'm probably crowning Banks too early, but I've seen enough. I'm sorry. I'm not an offensive line expert or anything, but I think we got 3 really good foundational pieces on that O-line that whoever the quarterback of the future winds up being, they are going to come in knowing, well, sure, at least I know I ain't got to worry about getting my brain rambled because I got a damn good offensive line here in New Orleans. I know some fans probably disagree and think that the O-line is look bad, but you got to realize how big of a piece Eric McCoy is to the offensive line. And when he comes back, I think we'll see the difference in what the O-line looks like. I'm excited about the offensive line future
too.
For the New Orleans
I think the O-line could turn from one of the biggest question marks and biggest weaknesses on this roster to a huge, huge strength if everything works out. If Penning can stay healthy and can pan out, if Ruiz can be more consistent, I'm 100% with you. I think your tackles, you're good. Eric McCoy at center, not going to get much better than that. So, I'm with you. It's those guard positions. If those are where the question marks, in my opinion, are, if they can turn it on and be great, this offensive line, I genuinely think will be really good for a long time. Defensively, though, this is a really tough spot to make some of these cuts because, you got Danny Stutzman in the linebacker room. That whole squad is loaded. The interior defensive line is really loaded. The edge rusher spot, there's going to be some tough cuts to make. Jonas Sanker's been really good. Rico Payton's been good. There's been so many studs on the defensive side. Who are some guys who you've been really impressed with so far?
Oh, man, we love Stutzman, right? The cracker with the juice.
Oh, yeah.
Remember, did you saw Cracker Barrel got rid of the logo?
Yeah, by the way, that was whack.
Come on, Cracker Barrel. You got to keep the cracker. How you going to take the cracker out of Cracker Barrel?
And you took the barrel away. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous.
Come on. We used to be a proper society, y'all. I love Danny Stutzman, man. I'm excited. The cracker. I think Danny Stutzman might be the face of our I'm not saying the best player on our defense, but just given his charisma, his energy, his leadership that he's already shown as a rookie, I think he might be the face of our defense in about 3 years. So I'm excited about Danny Stutzman. I really like Fidel Diggs. I think that he's shown some flashes that's jumped out to me just as a fan when I'm watching the game. So I think that he could be a building block for our defense going forward. Those are the 2 players that really excite me. I would have loved to see Alante because I still have high hopes for him. That injury, I hope it's not going to be a setback to what could have been a big year for him. So I'm looking forward to him. I saw that they say he was back on the field today, not practicing, but just kind of warming up and doing some exercises. So hopefully that means he's in line to start in week 1. But I think that we do have, and I love Kool-Aid, not just for the name, but I think that he actually can be our number 1 cornerback. And he might not be at his peak what a Marshawn Lattimore was, but I think he can be a cornerback that we can rely on just to, keep the number 1 wide receivers at bay. As a number 1 cornerback for us. So I think we have some pieces on our defense. I think our D-line is where we really need to improve on. not just this year, but going forward. But I think that we have some talent that, again, when Brandon Staley gets more of his soldiers, this army is going to be, one to watch out for.
Oh, absolutely. I couldn't agree with you more, man. I mean, this has been a great conversation. The preview of this game, I think that what you should expect is to see.
I didn't even mention Jonas Senka. He might have been like the best, young prospect so far as far as game performances. I like Jonas Senka. I'm looking at the names on the list. We got some talent, y'all. Now, we're looking at it from our black and gold glasses, right? Every team probably, fan base says, we got talent, young talent. But Jonas Senka, and that pick, and I saw some fans who were kind of like getting on you, Trace, on Twitter, because you gave him props for the pick, and they were like, well, what about the guy who tipped the ball? Which, yeah, absolutely. You give credit to the guy who made the play to give Jonas in position. But if you don't notice, Senka is always in position. And for a rookie, that's like pretty important as a safety position to like always be in a position to make a play, to clean up a play, anything like that. He's showing some veteran skills in his first year. I really like the future of Jonas Senka. I really do.
Oh, I do too. And shout out to Rajon Wright for having that PBU. Like, that was awesome. Don't get me wrong. Like, Rajon Wright made a great play at the end of that game.
Yeah.
But like you said, Jonas Senka, right place, right time. And in my opinion, I mean, I had it in my notes while I was watching the game. I was like, dude, it feels like he is literally on the ball every other play. Like, he's flying all over the field. Him and Danny Stutzman, I think, do a great job of not limiting themselves into just a few different areas. Where they see ball, they go get ball. It doesn't matter if it's a rush, doesn't matter if it's a pass. They are putting their lids on the football, and they're trying to make a play. And that's how you end up making an impact, especially on a roster and on a team. Call a spade, that isn't absolutely loaded. Like, the Saints are just not. And those are the kind of things that can really, really build a foundation to achieve sustained success, which I think that's the goal. Not a Super Bowl in year 1, but a Super Bowl in year 3, 4, 5, 6, and beyond. I think that's really what praying on. Please! It's just
come on, football guys. Y'all owe us.
I know. More than owe us. We had to deal with so much. We had to deal. We're not even going to revisit it all. But I want to hear in the comment section, name a player you are excited to watch. We gave you a ton. We talked a lot about different players, but who's a guy you are excited to suit up on Saturday? Friendly reminder, we'll be live here on the channel 1 hour before kickoff. I will see you guys there. Y'all stay golden. Thank you so much for tuning into this preview, and we'll see you next time.